Welcome. This service is provided by freeconferencecall.com. Please enter your access code followed by the Mataji, Namastakam, Charlotte. Hare Krishna, Kalasudha Mataji, Dandavad Pranam, all those to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for joining, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. This is Bindu from Lincoln. Hare Krishna, Hindu Mataji, Dandavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for joining, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Lavanya Mataji, Dandavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. This is Palika Devi Dasi from Detroit. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Palika Mataji, Dandavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna. The recording has started. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. We are very fortunate to have her grace Kalasudha Mataji today on the call to enlighten us on the topic of the nectarian mellows of Sri Namastakam, session 2. Hare Krishna Mataji, are you there on the call?
Hare Krishna, Lavanya Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Guru Maharaj's ki jai.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all goes to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for joining and giving your valuable association and time this morning, Mataji. You can take over the call, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Very grateful to all of you. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanatha Swami Niti Namine. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Niti Namine. Namo Acharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayine Gaura Katha Dhamadaya Nagara Grama Dharine. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukham karoti vachalam pangur langayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. So continuing on with the nectarian mellows of Sri Namastakam. We will read from text 2 onwards today. This is Sri Namastakam written by Srila Rupa Goswami Pad. Text 2. Jayanamadheya Munivrindageya Janaranjanaya Paramakshara Krite Tvamanadaradapi managudiritam nikhilogratapa patalim vilumpasi. Translation. O Harinam, O names sung by the sages, O transcendental syllables that bring bliss to the people, even if you are spoken only once, and even if you are spoken disrespectfully, you at once remove the many harsh sufferings of everyone. The glories of the holy name, Srila Prabhupada, he always made sure that it should be discussed amongst faithful people. It is in fact one of the offenses to the holy names to discuss the glories of the holy names amongst the faithless. So only when we have some faith in the holy names, we should discuss the glories of the holy names amongst the association of such faithful devotees. Because sometimes, if we just comment that, oh, really? Is this really true? That if we just say the holy name, we can get such benefits? Well, it is true. Srila Prabhupada always wonderfully gave the example of fire. that fire, although a child may touch the fire unknowing the qualities of the fire that it can burn, the fire will not distinguish that, oh, this child, it is ignorant and does not know that I will burn. So let me not burn this little child. The fire does not think like that. The fire will still burn. So similarly, the holy name is like fire, whether we know the complete benefit of chanting the holy names or if we don't, it doesn't really matter. But of course, when we know the glories of the holy names and we chant in full knowledge of the holy name, then the benefit that we derive is much, much more. There's no doubt about that. There is a difference, of course. But the initial contact with the holy name, the result that the initial contact with the holy name brings about, is described here in this second verse of Sri Namastakam by Srila Rupa Goswami Pad. That even if one speaks the holy name even just once, even if it is spoken disrespectfully, that the holy names can vanquish the harsh sufferings of everyone. In this regard, a very, very beautiful story always comes to mind about the symptoms of Kali Yuga and Maharaj Yudhishthir. We all know that story. It's a very, very beautiful story, but I love to repeat it. So please forgive me if you have heard this many times. It's a very, very famous story. And one time, after Maharaj Yudhishthir was crowned the king, and after the battle of Kurukshetra, Maharaj Yudhishthir became the king, and Bhimasena was the one kept at guard. That anyone who wants to meet Maharaj Yudhishthir has to go through Bhimasena. So everything in the kingdom was very nice and everything was going on very well. But then it was almost towards the end of Kali Yuga, and almost end of Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga was almost about to set foot. So Kali Yuga needed permission to step foot into the kingdom of Dharmaraj Maharaj Yudhishthir, because Kali Yuga is Adharma, and he needs special permission from Maharaj Yudhishthir to come, even to start showing little symptoms of his own age of quarrel and hypocrisy. Kali Yuga needed to show and needed to get permission, formal permission from Dharmaraj Maharaj Yudhishthir. So one day when Bhimasena was standing on guard, there was a big commotion, and one of the citizens of the state, he came running to Bhimasena and he said, Bhima, there is a big perplexity that I'm faced with. And Bhima said, oh, what is your perplexity? He said, well, I have to meet Maharaj Yudhishthir. Please let me go. I'm in so much of confusion. So then Bhim said, okay, you have to first tell me what your problem is. And if I find that it is worthwhile for it to be presented in front of Maharaj Yudhishthir, then I will let you pass. So then this man, this citizen, he said that, oh, when I was just passing by, I saw that there was a very nice, lush field of crops. And that field of crops was very nicely protected with very nice barriers and, fence. Then Bhim said, what is so astonishing about it? That's normal. He said, yeah, but then what was abnormal about it is that the fence started becoming alive and it started eating all the crops. And Bhimasen said, what? Are you drunk? Are you okay? How can fence eat crops? He said, well, that's what I saw, and I'm completely perplexed. Please, I need, resolving of this matter. Please let me go to Maharaj Yudhishthir. So Bhimsen said, yes, you should go. Go and ask Maharaj Yudhishthir, what is it that you saw? Then the second person, Bhimasen was again standing. Then a second person came running in. And he said, Bhima, I saw the most astonishing thing. He said, what did you see now? He said, well, I saw that there was a man, he had a big pot of water. And with that big pot filled with water, he filled 5 small pots of water. Very nicely. He filled 5 small pots of water. And then, when those 5 small pots of water, he tried to fill back that big pot of water, that big pot of water did not get filled up. Bhimasen said, I know the answer to this. Immediately, Bhimasen said, that man must have spilled all the water outside. That's why the big pot didn't get filled out. And he said, no, 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 I saw that not even one drop of water fell out. But all the pots of the small water pots could not fill that big pot of water. Bhimasen scratched his head. He said, okay, this is beyond my capacity. You also go inside, ask Maharaj Yudhishthir, see what he says. So he let the second person pass through. Then the third person came running, Bhima, 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 what happened to you? And then this man said, I saw the most astonishing thing today. And Bhim said, what did you see? He said, well, I saw that there was a man sitting with a needle in his hand, and he was threading an elephant through the eye of a needle. The entire elephant passed through, and the tail got stuck. Bhimasen put his hand on his head and he said, oh my God, what is this? First of all, threading an elephant through the eye of a needle, that is impossible. And the entire elephant went through, only the tail got stuck. How can that be? Are you crazy? He said, no, 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 this is exactly what I saw. I need resolving of this issue. He said, okay, it's beyond my capacity. Go in and ask Maharaj Yudhishthir. So he sent the third person in. And then Bhima saw from a distance that there was a fourth person who was running and coming. And Bhimasen said, stop, stop, stop. I don't even want to listen to what you have to say. You saw something astonishing today? And the fourth person nodded his head. He said, yes, I saw something very, very astonishing. Bhim said, I don't even want to listen to what you heard, because today is the day of astonishments. So you come with me. We'll go inside to Maharaj Yudhishthir and let's see what the three people before me said and what you also have to say. Let's see. So Bhimasen took the fourth person inside and they came inside. And then they came in front of Maharaj Yudhishthir, and Maharaj Yudhishthir heard the first person. The first person had seen that the fence was eating the crops. The second person saw that 5 big water pots were being filled by one big water pot, and these 5 small water pots were not able to fill back this one big water pot. The third person saw that the entire elephant was passed through the eye of a needle, but the tail of the elephant got stuck. And the fourth person, when Bhimasen brought the fourth person in, Maharaj Yudhishthir asked, what did you see? And this fourth person said, Maharaj Yudhishthir, I saw that there was a huge mountain, very, very big mountain. And one person, he just took a small, tiny, thin thread. He just looped it around his head like that, and he threw it over the mountain, and he just pulled on that string, and the entire mountain came crumbling down. Bhimasen, he was putting his hand on his head. He was like, what is this? No answer to all of these 4, situations. So let's see what Maharaj Yudhishthir says. So Maharaj Yudhishthir had a gentle smile on his face and he said, all of you are experiencing Kali Yuga. The coming of Kali Yuga is shown by these symptoms. So everyone was scratching their head. Kali Yuga? What does that mean? What is it? So explain, please explain, Maharaj Yudhishthir. So then the first person, Maharaj Yudhishthir said, the first person saw that the fence was eating the crops. What does that mean? That in Kali Yuga, those who are meant to be our protectors will become our violators. In Hindi, there's a very famous saying, Rakshak Bhakshak ban jate hain. Means the protectors become our violators. So when this is one of a very, very, a prevalent symptom of Kali Yuga, that in Kali Yuga, our protectors actually become our violators. They come and harm us. They are meant to protect us, but they don't protect us. That is one of the symptoms of Kali Yuga. And then they said, oh, yes, yes, it makes sense. Okay, this is one of the symptoms of Kali Yuga. And then the second person, he saw that one big water pot was able to fill 5 small water pots. But those 5 small water pots were not able to fill back this one big water pot. So Maharaj Yudhishthir explained that in Kali Yuga, parents, teachers, gurus will be able to take care of their disciples, of their children very nicely. But when thousands of disciples or when many, many children come together, they will not be able to take care of their parents or their spiritual masters in that same way. The attitude of gratitude lacks in Kali Yuga. The elderly people, they will give us all love, all shelter, all protection. But when we, have to show them our gratitude, we fail in that miserably. That's why we see in Kali Yuga, there's so much of old age homes. The parents, they give their, life, they give their blood to raise children. But then when children grow up, what do? They put their parents in old age homes. This is one of the symptoms of Kali Yuga. Another symptom is that, when the guru is, guru doesn't necessarily mean only Diksha Guru, also Shiksha Guru, Vartma Pradarshak Guru. They do so much. They pour buckets and buckets of blood. Srila Prabhupada says it needs buckets and buckets of blood is needed to make one devotee. And when such devotees are made, such devotees, when they become initiated, they forget the work that some devotees have put in them becoming Krishna conscious. The attitude of gratitude is very much lacking in Kali Yuga. So this is the second symptom of Kali Yuga, the lack of attitude of gratitude, or the nil presence of the attitude of gratitude, rather. So this is the second symptom of Kali Yuga, which Maharaj Yudhishthir explained. And then the third person, he saw that a person was threading an elephant through the eye of a needle, and Bhimasen had big problems with this issue. He said that how can the entire elephant pass through, that too through an eye of a needle, and then the tail gets stuck? I mean, it is logical if you even say that the tail could pass through, but the elephant got stuck. But in Kali Yuga, it is opposite. So Maharaj Yudhishthir explained to Bhimasena, he said that, my dear Bhim, understand this, that in Kali Yuga, the judicial system will be such. There's going to be nothing called as proper judicial system, because big criminals who have committed offense which is as serious as big as an elephant, they will pass through by bribing the judicial system. It is the small time thieves or people who have not committed any kind of offenses that they will get stuck like the tail of the elephant. Those who are poor, those who have no control over, by, having some money or, financial capabilities, they are the ones who get stuck. They are the ones who get crushed by this so-called judicial system. So that is one of the most prevalent systems or symptoms of Kali Yuga, that big criminals will pass through, but the small-time people who commit small offenses, they are the ones who get crushed by the so-called judicial system. This is one symptom of Kali Yuga, Maharaj Yudhishthir explained. And then Bhimasena said, oh, this fourth person, Maharaj Yudhishthir, what do you have to say for that? So then Maharaj Yudhishthir, he just sat back on his throne and he relaxed and he said, you see, Bhima, this entire Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults. But there's only one thing good about Kali Yuga, which this fourth person has seen. Kaler doshe nidhe rajan asti hi eko mahad gunad kirtanad eva krishnasya mukta sanga param vrajat. That Maharaj Yudhishthira explained that what this person saw is that there's a huge mountain, and one person comes with a tiny string of thread, and he loops around that mountain with that tiny string of thread. He pulls on it, and the entire mountain comes crushing down. That mountain is our accumulated mountain of sins. So when we, with the thread of the holy name, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, when we chant the holy name, we are stringing around our mountains and mountains of accumulated sins. And by the potency of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, all that big Himalayan mountains of sins, they come crushing down. They're completely evaporated. They're completely dissolved. That is the glory of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And it is said, this is said by Srila Shukadev Goswami to Maharaj Parikshit, that Kalar Doshe Nidhe Rajan Astihi Eko Mahad Guna. This Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults. But there's just one good quality in this Kali Yuga. And what is that? Kirtana Deva Krishnasya. That's simply the chanting of the holy names of Krishna. Mukta Sangha Param Vrajet. That Shukadev Goswami is saying that not that, just by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, a person is simply liberated. No. He takes the name of Param Vraja, Shri Goloka Vrindavan Dham. That anybody who chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is eligible to go back home, back to Godhead, to the supreme abode of Shri Krishna, Shri Goloka Vrindavan Dham. Param Vraj, Param Vrajet. That is the glory of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And we here in Kali Yuga, we are so fortunate, extremely fortunate, that just before us, 5,000 years ago, Krishna himself descended. And following Krishna, Krishna descends every one day of Brahma, which in every 1,000 cycles comes on the 28th cycle. The 28th cycle of the 7th Manu, Krishna descends. And following in that Kali Yuga, after Krishna's descent, Sriman Gauranga Mahaprabhu comes, who is the fountainhead of all incarnations. He is Krishna himself, who is come in the mood of Mahabhav Swarupini Srimati Radha Thakurani. So this form of Sri Krishna as Gauranga Mahaprabhu is more merciful, the most merciful, more merciful even from Krishna than Krishna. That he has come with the mood of his dearmost devotee Srimati Radharani. And without any discrimination, Mahaprabhu, who has descended from Goloka Vrindavan Dham directly, because this Hare Krishna Mahamantra is not a mundane mantra. It is from Goloka Vrindavan. Golokera Premadhana Harinama Sankirtana. That this is Golokir Premadhan, that this is the treasure of Goloka Vrindavan Dham, and only a personality from Goloka can give us access to this treasure. And that personality is Gauranga Mahaprabhu, who has come from Shvetadvip Dham, which is situated in the center of Sri Goloka Vrindavan Dham. Mahaprabhu has descended. And when Mahaprabhu came from Goloka Vrindavan Dham, he descended from that Dham, he actually left the door open behind him. He did not close the door of Goloka Vrindavan Dham. And that is giving us an opportunity, that we have an opportunity to go back to that Param Vraja, Shri Goloka Vrindavan Dham, to Shvetadvip Dham. And that's why Mahaprabhu has left that door of Sri Goloka Vrindavan Dham open and given us this access to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So that by just chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we can follow in the footsteps of Gauranga Mahaprabhu and ascend back to the spiritual world, to Shvetadvip Dham. In this regard, whenever I talk about Shvetadvip Dham, I remember the words of my beloved Guru Maharaj, Srila Jayapataka Maharaj. He says that the spiritual world is divided into four parts. There's Dwarka, Mathura, Goloka Vrindavan, and then there is Vaikuntha planets. So in these planets, the spiritual world, we, based on our, desires, we can choose to go to any of these dhams based on our inclination. There's, of course, in the Vaikuntha planets, there's Ayodhya, there's Lord Ramachandra who's there, there's Lord Nrsingadev's planet. There's so many planets of Vaikuntha planets. Then there's Mathura, where Krishna is residing as the prince in Mathura, doing so many pastimes. In Goloka Vrindavan, Krishna is there as an eternal cowherd boy, as Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. He's there as Govinda in Goloka Vrindavan. So like this, in Dwarka, Krishna is residing with all of his, 16,000 queens. So like this, all of the spiritual world is existing simultaneously. But by Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu's mercy, we in Kali Yuga have the special privilege to go back to Shvetadvip Dham and to take part in Gauranga Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan mission. And Srila Jayapataka Maharaj explains that if we go to any other spiritual planet, then we stay in that very spiritual planet. We cannot go and see, oh, what is Krishna doing in Mathura today? Oh, what is Krishna doing in Goloka Vrindavan today? If we are in Mathura, we stay in Mathura. If we are in Goloka Vrindavan, we'll stay in Goloka Vrindavan. But if we are with Gauranga Mahaprabhu, with his Sankirtan party, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu takes out his Sankirtan party and he visits each of these spiritual abodes one day at a time. So one day Mahaprabhu will take us to see what is Krishna doing in Mathura. One day we'll go and see what is Krishna doing in the Vaikuntha planet of Lord Nrsingadev. One day we'll go and see Ramarajya in Ayodhya. One day we will go and see how Krishna is managing the affairs of the state in Dwarka. And one day we'll go and experience what is Krishna doing with his cowherd boyfriends. So Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan party can go to each and every spiritual kingdom of God. That is the benefit for each and every one of us. Have this benefit that we can go to Shvetadvip Dham, to the abode of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where Mahaprabhu will take us back home, back to Godhead. And he will make us visit all of the spiritual worlds with all of our spiritual masters, our Guru Vargas. They will all be there. We will take part in Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan party every day. Whenever the sun rises in Shvetadvipa, the sun doesn't have to rise according to the way it rises here. Whenever Mahaprabhu wants, it'll be Udila Aruna Purava Bhage. And Dvija Manigora Amani Jage. Mahaprabhu will arise and then he will take the Sankirtan party to different spiritual abodes. This is the glory of staying with the Sankirtan mission of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, which we have the special privilege given to us by our Guru Vargas, given to us by Srila Prabhupada. That is the glory of ISKCON. That is the glory of this Sankirtan mission of our Guru Vargas, of our spiritual masters. So let us not take this, privilege, this special privilege that has been awarded to us. We should take it very, very seriously. And once we take this kind of special privilege, very specially, we know what treasure we have. We would want that everybody take part with us. And we will be able to then show our real attitude of gratitude to Srila Prabhupada. Because Srila Prabhupada, he was asked many times by his disciples that, Srila Prabhupada, you have done so much for us. We would not be sitting here if it was not for you. So what can we do for you, Srila Prabhupada? And Srila Prabhupada would always say that what I have given to you, you give to everybody else. How I have made your life perfect, in turn, you make others' lives perfect. Share this knowledge that we have. Share this love of Krishna, the message of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, share it with others. And when we share it with others and we bring and offer, instead of flowers, we offer souls back to the lotus feet of our spiritual master, to the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, that will be our true attitude of gratitude that we can do to show to Srila Prabhupada that we are really grateful to you, Srila Prabhupada, for what you have done for us. So with this, I will end today. If there's any questions, comments, or reflections, we can take that now. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Very, very beautiful class, Mataji. Thank you so much for such a beautiful class and very nice story, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, is there anybody having any questions? Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
So I have a question. At the time of Parikshit also, Kali comes and asks for permission.
Yes.
So Parikshit comes after, I think, some 1,000 years after Yudhishthir Maharaj. So, so what is that and what is this? Why did Kali, come 2 times?
Very nice question, Madhavi Gopi Mataji. Thank you so much for this question. So these, what came in front of, or who came in front of Maharaj Yudhishthir, these are just the symptoms of Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga had not yet set his foot during the reign of Maharaj Yudhishthir. This was just giving symptoms that Kali Yuga is just around the corner. He's about to come. But, right after this, actually, Maharaj Yudhishthir gets the message that, Kali Yuga is around the corner and he's about to come. So therefore, that's when they actually pass over the kingdom to Parikshit Maharaj, and all the 5 Pandavas, along with Queen Draupadi, they leave for the Himalayas. They retire. So then Maharaj Parikshit, he starts ruling. And he did rule for many, many years before Kali Yuga actually set forth. So when Kali Yuga actually came, that's when he came during the time of Maharaj Parikshit. You're absolutely right. But what happened here in this story that I explained is only the symptoms of coming of the Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga personified did not come here at the presence of Maharaj Yudhishthir. He did not do that. It was just the symptoms that was coming, that was announcing the coming of, that Kali Yuga was forthcoming. Does that answer your question?
Yes. Thank you, Kalasudha.
Thank you for the wonderful question, Madhavi. Hare Krishna. Any other questions?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. When you were saying something like our desiring to be in different holy dhams, I was wondering what role do we play in that desire, and what role does Krishna play in that desire? Because on the one hand, the devotee only wants what Krishna wants,
Yes.
whether it be the type of relationship or where we reside. So I think want to confirm that we don't It's not like, going to, I don't know, an ice cream parlor and choosing what flavor you want, or,
Right.
Or going to a shoe store and saying, oh, I like this or I don't like that. So
Right.
how did it come about that, we, quote unquote, decide where we want to be?
Right. You very, very rightly put it that it's not a choice that we do have, because even in terms of, like what Srila Prabhupada explained in terms of the five mellows, Shantaras, Dasyaras, Sakyaras, Vatsalya, and Madhurya, Srila Prabhupada said the only rasa that we as practicing devotees should cultivate is the Dasyaras. That although we may feel that Krishna is our friend or Krishna is like our child or whatever, if we in the contaminated state start thinking that Krishna is my friend and start acting on that, then we will become sentimentalists. Prabhupada said that there is a danger for all of us to not be able to practice that kind of sadhana bhakti. So the recommended process for all of us is dasya ras, that we must just try to cultivate that Krishna is my master and I am your eternal servant, O Krishna. So that is the mood that we cultivate. And in that very mood, we are, saying to Krishna that, Krishna, I don't know what is, I know that I do have an eternal form in serving you in the spiritual world. We know that for a fact, but we don't yet know what that form is. We might be a blade of grass, we might be a cow, we might be, an animal, we might be a tree. We don't know what we are or who we are in the spiritual world. What is our eternal rasa with Krishna, we do not know. And that is revealed to us by the spiritual master at the right time. So, having faith in these words by Srila Prabhupada, of Srila Prabhupada, we continue just to cultivate the Dasya Ras, that Krishna, I am your sold out servant unconditionally. And once we have that kind of a mood, wherever we go, we know that Krishna and Guru will take care of us. And what I was saying regarding the, going back home, back to Godhead, to Shvetadvipa, to Gauranga Mahaprabhu, that is just, that because our mission here in ISKCON, the mission of Srila Prabhupada, is the Sankirtan party of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. We are living the Sankirtan party of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. That's a fact, whether we want to accept it or not. So cultivating this very fact that yes, we one day want to be with Gauranga Mahaprabhu, serving, in his Sankirtan mission, continuing to serve in his Sankirtan mission, is actually cultivating Dasya Ras. That is cultivating Dasya Ras, to be able to continue in Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan mission. So that is actually how we cultivate Dasya Ras. So, by default, actually, the way Srila Prabhupada has designed our sadhana bhakti, the way Srila Prabhupada has given us the entire package of Krishna consciousness, we are cultivating this very mood. Whether we understand it today or whether we understand it a few years down the line or whether we not understand it at all, it doesn't really matter. As long as we are following the process, we will know that our Guru Vargas, our very own dear Srila Prabhupada, Nityananda Prabhu and Gauranga Mahaprabhu are taking care of us. That's it. There's nothing else to it. So does that answer your question, Mataji?
Oh yes, definitely. I would just follow up with one question. Would you please define what it means to be sentimental in one's approach?
Yes. Sentimental in one's approach means, Srila Prabhupada described sentimentality that when we have religion without philosophy, that is sentimentality, because So, what it is that religion without philosophy is sentimentality, as defined by Srila Prabhupada. And he says that, like, say, for example, if we try to say that, oh, I see Krishna as my own son, and out of sentiment, we try to transgress our etiquettes, and we may not be at that level of pure, unalloyed devotional service to be able to see Krishna as our own son. So we tend to commit offenses, by being sentimental, just being on an emotional platform that, oh, I see Krishna as my son, and, I try to just not follow the Vaidhi sadhana bhakti and try to get into the raganuga or the spontaneous kind of devotional service artificially. That is the problem. So when we try to do things artificially, when we are not at that level of purity, then that results in sentimentality. Does that answer your question?
Um, I'm thinking about those of us. I mean, it's not definitely not me, but sometimes you hear devotees speaking, and they definitely have an attraction to baby Krishna,
Right.
Damodar form or so on.
Right.
So and that is genuine.
Mm-hmm.
It's genuine attraction, but if they haven't attained, let's say, the stage of Nishta or something like that, I'm also thinking that we're all individuals. So who is to say when that genuine feeling comes for one person,
and it doesn't come for the other?
It may come, very early.
Yeah.
Somebody else might come very late. So how are we to really understand whether that is artificial or based on something mundane? How can one really ascertain?
Very nice question. Well, the bottom line to that is that let us not judge others. Let us just judge ourselves. We are not here to judge others. Other devotees, let that be between them and Krishna, and Krishna is taking care. So if we see anything happening with other devotees, let's not be the judge of that. Let's leave it to Krishna. Krishna has a unique relationship with everybody, just like as you said, but Krishna does have a unique relationship with me too. So I know what level I am in. I do not know what level any other devotee is in. So who am I to judge the other devotee? You see? So, but I can definitely judge myself, and I know for sure that I'm not at that level. And therefore, it is very, very safe for me to just follow the instructions of Srila Prabhupada, where he says that Krishna is my master, and I, Krishna, am your sold out servant unconditionally. You can, just the last verse of the Shikshashtakam, that should be our only meditation. That whether you trample upon me, whether you embrace me tightly, or whether you disappear from me, you are my worshipable Lord unconditionally. That is the mood that we need to cultivate. And as long as we are cultivating that mood, we are okay. We are striving to achieve that state of Krishna consciousness. And as long as we are doing that, we know that Srila Prabhupada, our Guru Vargas, and Krishna is taking care of us. Right? So let's not judge others, let's just judge ourselves. That is safe. Yeah?
Yes, that's very nicely answered, Mataji. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the beautiful questions, Mataji. Extremely grateful to you for always bringing in a beautiful insight. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Oh, the insight is yours, Mataji. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Thank you so much, Mataji, for
Hare
the
Krishna.
class.
Hare Krishna.
Very wonderfully addressed, Mataji. I have one small comment.
Yes, please.
You did describe so wonderfully that so Dashyarasya is the foundational of at every level. When he quoted the last sloka of Namastakam, Radharani's mood even. So, Srila Prabhupada always warned even like very, very enthusiastic devotees. We want to get up to Krishna directly right now today. Prabhupada wanted to first deserve and then desire. Of course, enthusiasm is one of the symptoms of our sadhana bhakti. But ultimately, it's Krishna's choice in what way he wants to accept us. The spiritual world, the desire, how. So, the paradox of this is that how one then deserves. What is the ultimate test of deserving? Because the warning is that first deserve and then desire. It is not that we stop desiring, but our desire has to be strong enough. We desire Krishna in one of the relationships or one of the attractions in delegated relationships. So much that Krishna becomes impressed. We must have that patience for that. So if the cultivation is not our feeling for Krishna, it should not be made like a show just to impress others. Our only intention should be to impress Krishna, and Krishna likes our strong desiring him in one of the particular higher mellows. It is cultivated inside in our heart. Krishna then grants us, accepts us in that particular body, which is suitable to deal with particular mellow. But Dashyas, that is the foundational, and that we must cultivate as you said wonderfully. And let Krishna become ultimately our judge. And when Krishna employs other agents on the way, and we will find the fulfillment of our intense desire in one of the moods. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. There's another Mataji who was speaking something. Anybody else?
Thank you so much, Mataji, for the very, very beautiful class and questions and answers. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, thank you. So if there's no more questions or comments, we can end here.
Yes, Mataji, thank you so much for the beautiful class and nice question answer session, Mataji, and very nice stories, Mataji. Thank you so much for such a beautiful class once again. Let us offer obeisances to Mataji and all the Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatarobhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Advaita Kalasudha Mataji ki jai. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Thank you so much, Vinaya. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
This session is no longer being recorded.